Astronauts to the moon.
Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1.
Houston, we have a problem.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue.
What you're seeing here is a mirage.
What's going on, everyone? It's Jaron from Jeranism, back with another video for you, a live video. So thank you for joining me. If my sound's a little quiet, let me try and fix that for you just a bit. Seems like I'm a little quiet. There we go. I think that's probably better. There we go. Now it's better. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate that. Hello to those in the chat or wherever you might be. Quick shout out to Renee Calucia for the early super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Today we're going to be talking about the latest of the many NASA deceptions, and that is a line of many, right? The InSight landing on Mars. This video will be short. I'll try to keep it under an hour, and this video is mainly intended for any of the many, many unfortunate souls who still believe in the lie of space, the lies of space travel, the lies of planets and moon landings, and of course, the absolute fabrication that is the InSight landing on Mars, some 90 million miles away. But the main point will simply be to show you exactly how easy this deception actually is. So that's going to be the goal, and how you just need a tad bit of discernment to recognize an all-out fraud, and to call a fraud, to call a hoax, and an absolute religious fantasy, the likes of which this world has never seen. And yet, the ease of pulling it off. So let's get to it. Let me see if I have this set up for you. I believe I do. But the ease of pulling it off is just ridiculously easy, and I'll try to keep this, like I said, a decent length. I'm not going to go too much in depth, just enough to show the fraud. And the chat usually moves too quickly, so I do have a separate window open for Super Chat, so I will try to see those. And so if you have a question or comment, you can use that, or you can go to ask.fm/Jeranism, and I will address your question as soon as time allows. But if you want to address it here, you can use the Super Chat, which runs alongside this live stream, and I thank those who use it in advance. So anyway, without further ado, let's start. So first, I want you guys to think about exactly what do we know about governments? Do they lie? I don't know anybody who would say no. Government tells us all the truth. I mean, are we told the truth about the food we eat or what's in our water? I mean, are we told the truth about what's in our air? We know the mass media lies. We know about the secret program from Operation Paperclip, right? It was secret. People now seem to think, oh, this has always been known. We've always known that these German scientists came over. No, it was not. It was a very secret operation, and now we know the details, but not then. So this is when Hitler's top SS officers came to the United States and were given freedom here. They were given jobs. They were given huge salaries. And the truth about the program was hidden, and the public face was that these are the good Nazis. And of course, this is after it started to come out. Well, they had to fix it, so they put Werner von Braun on Disney, et cetera, despite their horrific war crimes and being responsible for tens of thousands of deaths, all of it hidden from the general public, swept under the rug. They used slave labor, building V-2 rockets. All of it came out much after the fact, because we know governments lie. So there's many examples of government fraud. How about vaccines? Every single company that has ever made a vaccine has stood in court and admitted to fraud, yet they keep injecting your children. Not to mention the other top Nazi who came over to the U.S. secretly, like Major General Dr. Walter Schreiber, who ended up at a military installment in Texas. He was the Surgeon General of the Third Reich. What was his specialty? Vaccines. Yep. And war crimes. I mean, testing on human prisoners. Disgusting, but hold on, I'm getting away from my point. So, we know medicine is a fraud. It's rigged. I mean, whatever makes money for Big Pharma. Here's another side note. Big Pharma is huge, right? Everybody knows that. Big Pharma is huge. Guess what is 6 times bigger than Big Pharma? How about the telecommunications industry? Yeah, satellite TV, and if they lie about the medical industry, do you think that telecommunications is any different? No, it's 6 times larger. So we know that the money system is a fraud. Education, still teaching children about good old Columbus and the nice dinner they had with the Indians, leaving out, of course, the savage killings and everything else. How about the war on terror and weapons of mass destruction? Turned out to be a total fraud. All facts have been obliterated by propaganda. Every branch of our government is weaponized against us, the people. I mean, don't you dare cross the IRS, the FTC, the EPA, telling us what's the safe limits in pesticides, the DEA, and on and on and on ad nauseum. All of science has been distorted to push globalist agendas. Climate change. Yeah, climate change. Yeah, climate changes, guys. This is a fact, and yet they're going to force it down a globalist agenda. GMOs, fluoride, flu shots. I mean, flu shots. Give me a break. They are giving people the flu. Here, come get your flu. Do you want your flu today? Come get the flu. And then we wonder why people in the world end up with the flu. Well, you're giving it to other people, and then other people get it. Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. Let's keep giving flu shots out. How about the illegal gun trades, and how about the drug trafficking done by our own CIA? Not to mention oil and energy frauds. How about college student loans? How about Hollywood? How about music, weapons manufacturers, the war corporations, the military-industrial complex, all banking and finance. Banks creating money out of thin air to lock you into a lifetime of debt. Chemtrail spraying, now admitted. They lie about it all, but people believe in space. People believe in moon landings. They believe in Mars landings and Mars rovers, places you'll never go, things you'll never see. You'll never experience them, but you better believe them because in this case, they tell the truth. Everywhere else, they lie, but in this case, no, they tell the truth. Let's look at this joke real quick here. First thing we're going to take a look at, and then we'll get into it. I want to show you how easy this fraud is, but just to start you off by showing you this image, I'm sure you've already seen this. The Mars InSight lander shows off first image from Mars. Now, what happened here is, I guess, this is the lens cap. They didn't take the lens cap off until after it landed because of all the dust, right? Look at all this debris. Mud, it looks like, is stuck to the side of this lens cap. Mud comes with water, but we won't talk about that. And it even tweets. Look at this, NASA InSight. My first picture on Mars. My lens cover isn't off yet, but I had to show you a first look at my new home. Get more status updates here. It's all a production. It's nothing nearing reality. Nothing at all. But let's look at this picture. We got dust, particles everywhere. Well, tell me why it is that in the second picture it took, here's another picture, where's all the dust? Where's all the dirt? If this lens cap got caked with mud, and then I'm guessing the rest of the craft would be too. No, not in this case. Look at that. Crystal clear, clean. Look at this landscape. I mean, what a total joke. I can't even believe that people believe this anymore. It's getting pretty sad. Let's talk about something else here. Now, it's 2018, in case you didn't know that. Where are the GoPro cameras? How can the cameras on this craft possibly be so bad, so archaic? I mean, there's GoPros on everything now, and why not? They're cheap, tiny, powerful, and they take ridiculous 4K video. Amazing. NASA, where's the 4K video of your stupid landing? It's nowhere because it doesn't exist because it never happened. And I'm going to explain exactly how easy this fraud is to do. But again, not in space. We don't get 4K footage of space. We don't get GoPro cameras. Let's do something. I mean, maybe I'll do this after the show. Should we not start a GoFundMe for NASA? I'm going to place the GoFundMe at about what? I don't know, $250 for a nice GoPro. Maybe we'll get a couple backup batteries. I'm pretty sure that the craft should have enough battery power to control a tiny little GoPro to where we can actually see video of all this crazy landings, not just one image and CGI. You'll see here that I searched, what is the search on here? Mars InSight landing image. We get CGI, 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 CGI. Look at all this nonsense. And people believe it. They eat it up. They eat it right up. If you just search Mars on Google, the whole world sees it. And is it just by chance that this landing happened to be on Cyber Monday, where everybody's at their computer, everybody's making purchases, and in every corner of every damn screen I went to yesterday, we landed on Mars. Look at us. We landed on. Look how smart we are. Look at these nerds and all these computer consoles. And we landed on Mars. And we need all 800 of these people standing behind computer consoles. It's very important that they all see the data coming in. What a joke. What a total, complete joke. You want to see even further jokes? How about this one? Elon Musk says 70% chance he'll move to Mars. Oh, boy, I wish it was 100% chance. I really, really do. You can read this article. It is hilarious. He says here in HBO's Axios show, he said, I know exactly what to do. I'm talking about moving there. So, yes, he's going to create a spacefaring civilization. Elon Musk is going to travel to Mars. How about this quote here? I thought that it didn't get much worse than the you can tell it's real because it looks so fake. Oh, yeah, it gets worse. How about your probability of dying on Mars is much higher than on Earth, the billionaire explained. What? Your probability of dying on Mars is much higher than on Earth. I don't think there's a bigger idiot in the world. It's going to be hard. There's going to be a good chance of death going in a little can through deep space. This guy who has no rocket engineering background at all, not a physicist, didn't go to school for it, yet runs SpaceX, and people think he's going to go to Mars. Keep on dreaming. So we'll just watch this real quick, a little video, so you can see exactly how this thing landed. Oh, yep, there we go. And where's the GoPro lens? Where's the cameras on this thing? No cameras? All those people sitting at consoles inside NASA's facility, and none of them get to see a video of what's going on? No, of course not. They wait for tones. Yes, you heard it right, tones. By the way, I just wanted to point this out. If anybody wanted, the InSight landing area was called Elysium Planitia. And if you look into the meaning of those words, it means flat, plain, and then something to do with heaven-like or something. I don't know what the other meaning is of Elysium. But look into the meaning. What does it mean in... Sorry, just fixing this. What does it mean in Latin, planitia? Okay, look that up, and you'll see exactly what it means. It means plain. It means flat. Just a little nod, I'm sure, to us who actually recognize the deception. They must be trying to see how far they can take the American public, how stupid is and docile is the citizens of this country and the world. I mean, they can literally put anything up there and people will believe it. For an example, let's take a look at this. Remember, people believe this is real. Okay? People believe that this is a car and this is the Earth going by. There goes the Earth that we all live on. Yeah, freaking right. Who in their right mind would ever believe this nonsense? But it's been forced down your throat since you were 2 days old. In every commercial and every logo and every movie start, you got to have the Universal logo coming around. You got to remind people that they live on a ball, even though the whole idea is impossible. Okay, living on a ball as massive as the Earth in the vacuum of space with our atmosphere attached to the Earth as it spins around. Give me a break. It's nonsense. Look at this footage. Again, I'll just rewind it a little bit so you can see the Earth, but underneath the tire of the car. Look at this. Look at this. Are you kidding me? Look at this, and you think this is real. I mean, it's painful. It's painful. But again, and this camera lasted how long? Like 3 hours, and then they turned it off? Oh, yep, it only lasted 3 hours. Oh, yeah, I'm sure NASA, with their $56 million a day, can't afford the battery power to keep a GoPro camera going. It's too tough. too difficult for them. They're busy landing rovers and crafts on Mars. They're going to dig holes. They're going to dig holes on Mars to find out what's in the interior of Mars, what's its internal temperature. How deep will they dig? Will they go 8 miles like we've done here on Earth? Nope, 16 feet. 16 feet. They're going to check the internal temperature of Mars. Who believes this crap? Not me. That's for sure. You're free to believe it if you want. All I got to say is look into the details, because the details of any lie always destroy the lie. So you can believe in NASA if you want. I'll continue to show you reasons why I would never. Let's go real quick. I want to show you the exact way they say this goes down, and then show you the trick. And it should be easy for you to see. Let's see here. All right. So this is my little paint program. Sorry for my art. I know it's horrendous, but it'll get my point across, which is the only goal here. So we've got this little craft over here on Mars. Sorry. Let's move this thing over here. All right. So we've got this little craft. It supposedly went to Mars. It's got Marco 1 and Marco 2, some stupid lie satellites that they say are traveling around Mars that are going to get the information here, and they're going to beam it back to our dishes here on Earth, right? So we got our dish. This travels, of course, some 90 million miles. Make sure you're seeing what I'm seeing, yes. Travels some 90 million miles, gets to our little dish, which then telegrams this or, sends this information to the NASA personnel at their little computer screens, right? Here's your NASA computer screens. So they are sending their information to the craft. The craft is sending their information back, et cetera, et cetera. Watch how easy this deception is. You might be amazed. All you have to do to fool the world is you put one little computer. We'll make it gray. I like gray. Let's see here. Here's our gray. All right. So you put one little computer right here, and you take this line and you run it here. And before you know it, you've got the deception right there. Why? Well, because this is a computer. Remember, all of these travels. So you've got the craft that had to fly out to Mars, and we know everything. It's mathematical. We know exactly the speed that it's going at this point in its orbit. We know the speed that it's going in this point in its orbit. We know exactly what the craft would be doing at this point in the orbit, all the way to Mars, right? Well, it's all mathematical. It's all mathematical. So when you input this one computer here, all of a sudden, none of this needs to exist. None of it, because it's all mathematical. So as long as you have this computer, let's put a little computer screen here, and there you go. All you need is a little computer to simulate what this craft would be doing in its orbit of Mars, since it's all mathematical. So you got this computer now. We'll throw some little text in here so you can get an idea of what I mean. You got this computer which runs a program. Right? Okay. So this computer is running a program that responds when these people say, do this. Well, the computer responds. Okay, the craft did that. Well, this. Okay, the craft did. None of it exists. None of it even exists. It's that easy. It's that simple. And you've got all these scientists who think they're looking at a craft landing on Mars when it's all done in this little computer. That's it. It's that easy. That's the whole entire hoax. It's that simple. You have one computer, so everything that they send to the craft actually goes to the computer. Then the computer calculates it and outputs where the craft will be in its orbit and what time and what it needs to do and which cameras to turn on. And then it sends back one little grainy image from Mars, which is just sent from this computer. It's that easy. It's not even, it is ridiculous. Now, how do we know some proof of this computer existing? Well, I don't know. Have you ever heard of Dr. James Gates? Well, you should have. Dr. James Gates, let's bring this back over here. Dr. James Gates, I should have a video here queued up. I don't know where. Let's see. Here we go. Dr. James Gates. I just put you on the wrong screen. Let me give you this one. There we go. Let's listen to Dr. James Gates tell us what he found when he was researching the universe, shall we?
And it's even more bizarre than that, because when you then try to understand these pictures, you find out that buried in them are computer codes, just like the type that you find in a browser when you go surf the web.
What? Where's their computer code?
Your attempt to understand the fundamental operations of nature leads you to a set of equations that are indistinguishable from the equations that drive search engines and browsers on our computers.
That is correct. So,
wait, I'm still, wait.
Yeah, Neil,
Just be silent.
think about it.
Here. So you're saying as you dig deeper,
Mm-hmm.
you find
What?
computer code
Yeah, computer code.
writ in the fabric of the cosmos.
Oh, there's computer
Into the
code written in the
equations that we
fabric of
want
the
to use.
cosmos, guys. There's computer code written into the fabric of space-time. No, it's because the entirety of space that you've been taught is a mathematical computer program. That's it. It's that simple. End of story. Go home. Tell your family and friends. It is the most ridiculously easy hoax of all time. And it's completely and totally simple. I mean, again, what he's talking about is when you dig into the fabric of the universe, when you look into the space-time and everything, what do you find? You find computer code. You find this. This is what he found as he kept digging into the universe and found out, wait a second, why is there computer code? Well, it's because none of this exists. Sorry, Mars, you don't exist. There's no planet Mars you can go land on. There is in here. Oh, there's lots of planets you can land on in here. There, you can send Explorer satellites 13 billion miles, and guess what? They still communicate. Why? Because they're in this little box. That's why. Moon landings are in this little box. That's why. Everything comes from the computer code that they have used to trick you into thinking that we're landing things on Mars. I mean, think about all the lies that are told to you. Why in the world would you believe in space and space travel when there's no evidence for it except for mathematics? Well, these very smart scientists here, Jaron, they're very smart. They know exactly what's going on. Oh, they know exactly what's going on. Let's listen to a little bit of a video from here. Nope, not that one. This one. Let's listen to see how much they know that's going on here. Let's go.
For
Come on.
that readiness poll.
Mhm.
And I understand that the peanuts are going to be passed
Oh, the
in there pretty
peanuts?
soon?
The peanuts.
I believe that's the idea. Yeah, we'll be passing around
Oh.
the peanuts very soon after that.
Mm.
For those of you who don't know, the JPL peanuts are a tradition
Oh.
that gives us a little bit of extra luck
The peanuts!
on our critical
Yes!
events. So if anybody out there
Land
wants
on
to
Mars.
join in on
We got
peanuts and
peanuts.
give us some extra good luck peanut vibe,
Yes.
we'd
Good
love
luck.
to have it.
Peanut vibe.
Well, there's a
peanut
story
vibe,
behind
peanut
that,
vibe.
that way back when in the early days of JPL, there were several missions, and there were 6 Ranger missions to the
Yeah.
moon that failed.
Yep.
But then with Ranger 7,
Ranger 7,
somebody passed her out.
Look at all
So
the people in this room.
CubeSats from the California Science Center in Los Angeles, and I am told Mayor Eric Garcetti will be visiting later today. Things are getting more
Look
active for
at
the
this.
team
Okay.
now. Let's check
Thank you, Karen
back
B.
in
I
with
tried to turn it
Julie
up. Tell me if it's a little
Wirtgen
better.
in the control room.
Sorry, stop that. Karen B, let me know if my volume is any better. I do see it low on my little chart here, or my little bars. So if it is low, I apologize. I'll try and talk louder. But I was really excited about the peanuts, the lucky peanuts that get us to Mars. But really what I wanted to show you there is, did I get not far enough? I just want you to show you this entire room. What is this room doing? Look at this. Can you imagine? And again, all we need to do is go back to that drawing and look at the little people at the consoles. What they're receiving is mathematical. This picture back here is a fraud. This is just CGI. Nobody sees anything. They don't have cameras on anything. But they get that one image back, and all these nerds go crazy. Pretty easy deception, if you ask me. It's I can't think of anything easier. And I can't think of how, remember, all these people have put all this time and effort into building it. So, of course, they think it's real. This is the problem with everybody. Everybody says, well, think about the amount of people that would have to lie about it. Think of everybody who would be involved in the... None of these people know. None of them. How would they? They're building something. They think it goes to space, and they're getting the data back on their little consoles. Let's listen to this landing. This is classic.
Throughout EDL.
They're all waiting. They got such important things on their screens too. I bet any one of them could press a button and destroy the whole mission. Any one of them just press a little button, all that $1 million, and it could be louder still. Okay, we'll try a little louder. All right, might be getting unbearably loud at this point. Let's see. All right, hopefully that's louder. Seems pretty loud to me in my head. Let's see, move this up a little bit. All right, well, hopefully that's a little bit louder. It's about as loud as I can get. So, anyway, as I was saying, this is just ridiculous. Any one of these people can destroy the mission, or are they all just they're all just staring at screens and data. And where does data come from? It comes from a computer processor. And again, all we need to do is go back to my little drawing, and you can see what we're talking about is this little data here. All these people are sitting there, and they're getting all this information, but it's coming from the master computer. So they're getting all this data, and that's why they can't crash the device, the satellite. They can't crash anything, because if they sent it to here, this computer would just reject it. And that's it. It's that simple of a hoax. Pretty ridiculous that anybody would believe this. And again, we can draw all this back, and you can see where this is all mathematical, right? Everything that happens in the journey of the launch up to when it gets to Mars is all done by math. No cameras, no verification. It's in space. Nobody can go there. Nobody can see. Nobody can check up on it. Nobody can verify. Okay? Because it is a space religion. It is the worst religion that there is, because they actually convince people that it's real. Okay, at least religion says you got to have faith. At least religion says, well, we believe that this happened. We believe Jesus rose from the dead. They say, we believe that. But no, everybody else says, we landed on Mars. No, dipshits. You believe we landed on Mars. And your religion is a hoax. It's false. It's bullshit. There is no space travel. There is no outer space for you to send satellites into in orbits of other planets. And it's all nonsense. You don't communicate with the Explorer satellite 13 billion miles from Earth. You communicate with this little box right here. That's what you communicate with. This little universe in a box. It's not even a difficult hoax, folks. It's not even difficult. That's the problem. As many people say, do you know what would have to be involved? Yeah, one computer. Yep, I know it would have to be involved. It would take one master computer that the universe exists inside. Now, you may not follow me here, but you need to think. Think of the powerful computers that we have. The entire universe that you've been sold could exist in one mainframe server, one computer. And so, yeah, you can send satellites into space, into the computer. You can send simulations. And what does NASA do? They take all the smartest of the smart, right? They take the smartest of the smart. They take those with brains and math skills to do their work, to work out the exact formulas to make their simulations scientifically true and scientifically accurate, so that Red's Rhetoric and Wolfie 6020, all these guys can get together and give you all the numbers to tell you space is real. Can they show you pictures? No, they can't do that because they don't exist, because we don't put GoPro cameras on things that go into computer simulations. We have to lie about it. But we know you need to think for yourself. You need to just look at things from a common sense perspective and think it's 2018. Think of the camera equipment that we have. Why would NASA not use any of this? I'm going to start a GoFundMe. Maybe we'll put it at $300. Maybe they can throw one on their James Webb telescope that costs them $11 billion. Hasn't been launched yet. It's been pushed back over and over again. Everybody knows that story. It's very easy when you're NASA and you say, hey, we need $8 billion to build this James Webb telescope. They say, okay, well, I guess it's going to be good for us. All right, here's your $8 billion. And then NASA just at the end of the timeline says, oops, we're behind on the timeline and we're short money. We need another $2 billion. What's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen? Do you think Congress is going to say, nope, scrap the mission and we'll just throw away all that $8 billion we gave you? No, they say, well, we have to give them $2 billion more. We're going to have to. They're going to launch it eventually. And it's what? A telescope in space. $11 billion. So let's do a GoFundMe. Let's get $300 and strap a GoPro. What do you think? I don't know. And maybe have it on for longer than 3 hours like Elon Musk's little car. But again, this is the easiest hoax in the world. Let's go back and watch this landing. It is classic. Oops, I did the wrong one again. There we go.
For that, because we weren't really sure.
This is wonderful news.
It's wonderful news.
This will allow us to give some, if this continues working, all the way to the ground and beyond.
Another thing, remember that they announced this ahead of time. They told everybody, tune in live to watch us land. Do that, look at, and they give little speeches about, oh, this is how difficult it is, and we don't know what's going to happen, et cetera, et cetera. So all of that is said, and all of that is discussed as if there's a chance that this thing won't work. Yeah, right. Like they would have everybody tune in to show them crash on Mars. It's such a joke. They would never do that. They want you to think that they're doing things for humanity. Look at us. We're landing on Mars now. Why wouldn't you go land near one of the other rovers that can film it? Oh, can't do that. Let's land separately. Let's land on this plane over here because we need it to be flat because we're going to dig 16 feet. 16 feet to take the temperature, the internal temperature of a planet? What are you talking about? It is a joke. Let me guess. If the surface temperature is 80 degrees, then 16 feet deep, the surface temperature may be 70 degrees. Who cares? 16 feet.
We might even see a first picture from the surface of Mars.
Ooh, a first picture from the... We've never seen one of those before.
On my mark.
Oh, on your mark. Here we go, guys.
3, 2, 1, mark.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Here we go.
So in a few seconds...
7 minutes of terror.
In the atmosphere. I said 22 kilometers from the center of Mars.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to start to slow down. Very, very slowly at first, but then faster.
Look at these guys looking at their data. It's just data coming from a master computer, giving them exactly the digits that they're expecting.
7 Gs, not 12.
And just as a reminder, people do know when they get alerted that it's on Mars. Do you know how they know? There's a beep. There's a tone. We got the tone. The tone means that we landed on Mars. No, sorry, that's not the way it works. Sorry, it's just crap. The tone comes from this computer. Send a tone. Beep, we're on Mars. Yay, everybody, we went to Mars. None of this exists. None of it. It all exists in this little world where they keep taking your money, where they keep stealing the minds of children and telling them that we can go to the stars. That's humanity's destiny. Elon Musk is going to live on Mars. He's going to colonize it. We're going to grow potatoes just like Matt Damon. This is all a lie, folks. All a complete and total fabrication. Let's continue with this nonsense. Maybe we'll get to hear the tone.
But we'll still very, very quickly slow down. And from 15...
In approximately 1 minute, InSight is expected to reach its maximum heating rate.
Oh,
yes.
Plasma blackout is possible during peak heating and could cause a temporary dropout of telemetry.
Oh,
this
somebody at the computer.
For as long as 2 minutes.
Okay. Yep, the master computer sends the data that these guys see.
As it's slowing down, it looks like a meteor if you're on Mars.
I got to ask people, does anybody actually think any of these people are controlling anything? This guy here is a tard. Okay? This guy right here. Absolute joke. Let's continue. But my question was, does anybody actually believe that any of these guys have control of anything? What can they possibly press? What are they going to type that's going to change what the satellite is doing? What are they going to press that's going to change what the lander is doing? Nothing. You would never give people control over something like that. All of these people, any one of them can just ruin some multi-million-dollar mission? No.
Go by. That brightness of gas does interfere with the radio reception. And so it's possible that Marco will lose that signal while it's going through this very hot entry.
Mm-hmm.
But not to be alarmed.
Not to be alarmed. It's part of the design. We completely expect it.
Radio Science reports plasma blackout as expected.
Oh, the plasma blackout as expected. The telemetry data told us from the computer I just showed you.
Ground stations have reported plasma blackout, still receiving InSight telemetry via Marco.
Oh, mm-hmm. This is real tough to program, guys. Think of all the video games you've seen in your life. This is the easier.
InSight should now be experiencing the peak heating rate.
Oh, peak heating rate.
Portions of the heat shield may reach nearly 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit as it protects the lander from the heating environment.
Mm-hmm. Just like Stellarium is real, right? Mm-hmm. It's all computer fabrication, computer programs.
Marco Province shows carrier interruption, but still in lock.
Mm-hmm. Look at these guys. You're telling me all these people are necessary? Give me a freaking break. My tax money going to each of these nerds? Give me a break. The joke. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, yeah. You got the same numbers on your screen? Yeah, me too. All right. How about your screen, Jim? Yep, same numbers. All right. Temperature's looking a little hot.
InSight has passed through peak deceleration. Telemetry shows the spacecraft saw about 8 Gs.
Marco Alpha and Marco Bravo.
8 Gs, yeah.
Radio Science reports carrier detected.
Yay. They don't even know what's going on.
Different communications coming in.
All clueless.
InSight is now traveling at a velocity of 2,000 meters per second.
Of course it is. Mathematically it is. Where's the camera to show that? Oh, we didn't put one on the craft.
Point of peak heating and peak deceleration.
Look at these guys. Look at how it's so smart.
Next big step is parachute inflation.
So intelligent. Look at this.
And you can see that on our timeline on the bottom of the screen.
Look at the page he's got there. Let's pause this. See what they've got to look at. Do you have camera? No, you don't have a camera. No camera. No camera. This just looks like a bunch of data. Just like a bunch of numbers coming out of a computer. This is not proof of anything.
InSight is now traveling at 1,000 meters per second.
Ooh, 1,000 meters per second now.
Once InSight slows to about 400 meters per second, it will deploy its 12-meter diameter supersonic parachute.
Oh, it's supersonic parachute.
Will deploy nominally at about Mach 1.7.
This lady's got to be kidding me. But they are wearing embroidered shirts,
Standing by
which
for parachute deploy.
must be true then. Shh, 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 quiet, quiet, quiet. Shh, shh, shh. We got to hear the tone. I mean, tell me this, who gets videotaped on their job? Who just gets somebody walking around with a camera right in your face? Here you go. We're going to film you guys as you celebrate your landing. Look at these people, all so fooled by the American space program. Sad to be part of this country. Sad.
Radio science reports sudden change in Doppler.
Oh, yes, sudden change in Doppler.
Stations are observing signals consistent with parachute deploy.
Yes. The
Marco
parachute
Alpha,
deployed.
Marco Bravo, maintain lock status.
Yes. Got it.
Telemetry shows parachute deployment.
Okay.
Radar powered on.
Good. Radar powered on. Good, good, good. We're doing well, guys. We're doing really well.
Heat shield separation commanded.
This is no different than a bunch of people sitting around playing a video game. It's no different. It's been programmed to give you the exact results that these people expect. So they think, yep, my little satellite went to Mars. No, it went to the ocean. Go check the Bermuda Triangle. You'll find your rockets and you'll find your little device.
This is really good news.
But how could it be in the water, Jaron, if we're getting data back on these computers? These computers are giving us data from the craft that we sent, therefore it must be real. I'm Red's Rhetoric, and I've seen crafts launch into the air. They must go to space because they return data. Wake up.
Fantastic.
I'm on pins and needles.
I'm on pins and needles, too. Look at these guys.
We have radar activation, where the radar is beginning to search for the ground.
Yeah, search for the ground.
Once the radar locks on the ground and InSight is about 1 kilometer above the surface, the lander will separate from the back shell and be...
Now, remember also that this is 90 million miles away, which we know is about 8 minutes or 8, whatever you want to call it. I was going to call it leap years. What do they call it? Light years. 8 light minutes away, which means it takes 8 minutes for them to even recognize the signal or send a signal. Send a signal. It takes 8 minutes to get back. What a joke.
In terminal descent using its 12 descent engines.
Oh, yeah, it's descent engines. Did you learn that from Elon Musk? Let's see. Whew, it's getting really scary here. They may not land it. I bet you it'll just crash on Mars, and they'll say, oh, sorry, we just crashed our multi-million-dollar satellite on Mars. Sorry, folks. Yeah, right. It's all been pre-programmed, ladies and gentlemen. Wake up. Think for yourself. Do you really think that they are sending crafts to Mars? 90 million miles away.
Altitude convergence, the radar has locked on the ground.
Yes, radar locked on the ground. Yes, 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 yes. Look at these
Standing
nerds.
by for lander separation.
Carrier
Wow.
interruption on Marco Alpha and Marco Bravo.
Lander separation commanded. Altitude 600 meters.
Oh, boy. Now
Gravity
listen.
turn.
Gravity turn.
Altitude 400 meters.
It took a gravity turn. Gravity turn.
We're getting there.
300 meters.
300 meters. I like this part here. This is good right here.
200 meters.
200 meters.
80 meters.
80 meters.
60 meters.
60 meters.
50 meters.
50.
Constant velocity.
Constant velocity? What do you mean?
37 meters.
Oh, 37 meters.
30 meters.
30.
20 meters.
How would they know this?
17 meters, standing by for touchdown.
Come on, give me the tone. We need a tone. A tone? Anybody? Tone? Look at this guy's face.
Touchdown confirmed.
Oh, my God. Look at these nerds. Look at these guys. Look at this. What a total joke. Yay! Look at this. All these guys with their data coming from one mainframe computer. Yes! We landed on Mars because we launched something into the sky and then it returned data, so it must be real. Wrong. It's fake as it gets, folks. I don't know what else to tell you. We talked about Dr. James Gates. I explained that to you, that they're finding computer code at the base of the universe. So do you really think there's some creator that, built the universe based on mathematics that's a human invention? I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. It's a human invention. The number 10 being the first double-digit number is a human invention. It could have been 12, could have been 24, could have been 60. Look into the other civilizations that used other base systems besides the base 10. But we're finding computer code at the base of the universe and the solar system. Why? Well, because it's an entire computer simulation. And it can take place in one computer. So any little satellite you send or any little data you send goes into the mainframe computer and acts as if it's real, and you all buy it. You all just latch on. Nom, 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 nom. Give me more of my space fantasy. Nom, 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 nom. Space religion. Nom, 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 nom. We can go to Mars. Nom, nom, nom. I'm going to go with Elon. Nom, nom, nom. Joke. Total, complete joke. Images. Just look at the images of. I mean, this is Mars, guys. I mean, I've shown before the Devon Island where they got caught and they came out after and said, "Oh, we're up there. We're just practicing. That's our practice yard." If you were NASA and you owned all of the land that you do, you would create a little area where you would clear the dust and you would make a little Mars landscape. You wouldn't send entire teams of tents and ATVs and satellite dishes and all that up to a most remote place in the world, Devon Island, where there's nothing, and then you've got little crafts driving around with cameras on them, and you get caught and say, "Oh, that's our practice area." Well, I don't want my tax money going to that. I think it's ridiculous. Why would you go up there to practice? Go ship in some dirt. Cost you a couple $1,000. Put some dirt, make some rocks, and there's your Mars. Why would you go to Devon Island with truck after truck after truck after satellite dish and ATVs and all the equipment and all the food and everything that needs to be shipped to Devon Island? Come on. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely a joke. I don't know. Are we getting close to an hour? I don't want to go longer than that. I just wanted people to just think for themselves. Think rationally. Look at this image. We showed you this, right? This, where am I at here? Yeah. Here's the picture from the NASA InSight camera. And it says, "I haven't taken off my lens cover yet." Great. I know a lot of see-through lens covers. You guys? I've seen a lot. My Nikon P1000 has a see-through lens cover. A lot of cameras do. And then when you do remove it, all of a sudden, because remember, all this dirt and mud and debris that's everywhere here, you would think then that this picture here, if I can find it, they're already trying to hide this image. I'll tell you that much. Because there is no dirt. There is no mud. There is no splatter. This picture is not real. If you believe it is, good for you. I hope you enjoy your space fantasy. And let them keep lying to you. Let them keep taking your money for a place you'll never go. They lie about everything else that there is. But you believe in this. I don't know what to tell you. I'll just show one more time this picture just so you get an idea of how easy the trick is. You simply have all these people sitting at their NASA consoles who think they're receiving data from this craft around Mars. But what you need to realize is that that doesn't exist. Mars is a light in the sky. Okay? Get rid of all this. That's reality. Okay? But you've got these people controlling everything that these people think that's happening and controls everything that they send to the craft. It's all done in this computer. And you've got Red's Rhetoric, who watches the launches and says, They're launching things into the sky, so whatever's coming back, the data that's being returned has to be from the thing in the sky. It's got to be. I filmed these launches. Yeah, no shit, it's a trick. It's a deception. Of course they launch something and make the fire go boom boom, so you get a hard-on. That thing goes up, ends up in the ocean, and then they have this computer start sending the data, the mathematical data. It's so precise. It's so mathematical. Math is reality. No, it's not. Sorry. Just because they can mathematically simulate the universe does not mean that the universe must be real. Don't know what else to tell you. It's pretty simple to figure out on your own, but a lot of people don't get it. Thank you so much for the super chats. I see Sea Level. Jaron, you're right on. Love you, brother. In Jesus' name, be blessed. Appreciate that. $4.99. Thank you. Caroline, what's up? Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Super chat. And Ludicrous Speed says, Stucca, thank you very much. I appreciate that. It means a lot. I do appreciate it. So, one thing before I go, if you want to help out this channel and me continue making videos, you can go to Amazon. Before you shop there, if you shop there, you can go to j.mp/JaronAMZ. If you type that in before you go to Amazon, you pay the same price, but I get a small percentage of all your purchases. So I thank you very much for those who have been using that. It helps out a lot with devices for testing and just general needs. So I appreciate that. And if you want to join the coolest group that there ever has been, that is my Patreon group. Go to patreon.com/jeranism and become a patron. I would really appreciate that. Or you can go to paypal.me/Jeran, Jeran, and that would be appreciated as well. Appreciate you guys watching. And if you believe this stuff, I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, it's okay for. I believe people can believe whatever they want. That's the thing. But this is being taught to our children. And it's just another government-orchestrated fabrication and lie to keep people confused about where they live and exactly what they're doing here. So, do your own research, though, because when you do, you'll never again believe what you've been taught. This has been Jeranism, guys, and until next time, peace!